All right, welcome to the weekend video. This is Enda here from bullwins.org, and I'm glad you could join me. Sit back, relax, get a cup of tea. I wish I had one, and let's just talk about the markets for a while. Okay, I'm going to start on dollar FX, and I will approach this from an Elliott wave perspective. So, if that's what you're into, you're in for a treat. Okay, so we have been looking for a reversal higher in euro dollar for quite some time. We've been, had some fake outs previously, but this time it seems to be building quite positively. I don't think I don't think we're at a point yet where we can say this is confirmation, but we're getting close. So the action this week has been, quite favorable to the bullish stance here. So, the idea being that we will build over time. And I think if we go to the weekly chart, you can see what I'm talking about. So this is the pattern that I'm tracking here. And I would suspect that we have, depending on how you view this, we probably can expect a rally towards 120 over the following months. But for the moment, we're just going to concentrate on building, let's say, that bullish signal off the low here. So that's the 4-hour count shows a 1-2 pattern, and maybe we're rallying into wave 3 now. The action seems to fit that anyway at this point in time. So there's that wave 1, ABC correction, wave 2, and then we seem to have at least 3 waves up in wave 3, now underway. Now, what do we need from here? Well, we need if wave 3 is to continue, then this rally should continue next week. So we've got wave 1 and 2, an extension in wave 3, which we should probably push above 103, maybe 104. 104, maybe to complete wave 3 of 3, and then correct and rally again. So we want to complete 5 waves up in wave 3. We want to hold above the previous kind of shoulder here. Let's say that B wave high about, let's say 101. We'll hold above that level now. If we start breaking down again, then we'll have to revisit what's actually happening here. But for the moment, we're looking positive in euro dollar. Let's get to cable. You know that I'm looking for a 3-wave pattern higher in wave 2 with a suggesting a top around 130, maybe. We'll see how we get on. But for the moment, it looks like we're just tracking wave A of 2. And we are, I'll get into the short-term pattern now to show you how this wave A is unfolding, but it looks like we're tracking 3 waves up in wave A, and we should complete a wave A rally somewhere up around 120.21 maybe next week. Let's get to the hourly count here. You can see we've got this A, B, C pattern going on here. So again, a running flat wave B. So we've got wave A up, standard 5-wave rally. Then we've got an ABC rally, or ABC correction as a running flat, and now we should be looking towards the 5-wave pattern again in wave C of wave A. I'm suggesting somewhere above 120, maybe 121, depending on how this pattern plays out in wave C. If it goes the way I'm tracking it right now, well, then we might get up towards 124 or 123 or 24, complete wave C, and then we'll fall again in wave B. So it's a short-term rally. I think will probably be retraced. Quite a lot of it will be retraced in wave B once we start coming down again. But for the moment, we're looking positive here. In cable, here's dollar yen. You all know that if you have been following these videos, you know I've been looking for a correction lower. The correction is coming thick and fast now, and you might even be tempted to switch from the corrective idea towards an impulsive decline. I'm not about to go there just yet. I still think this pattern fits a 3 waves down in wave A. We have retraced quite a lot here so far. We're back to the wave 3 high. So we've wiped out, quite a lot, 1,200 points over the last few weeks. So that does at least we can confirm that this wave 3 high is in, which came with a throw over. I'll point that out to you. It came with a throw over at the top of the trend channel, and now we've moved down in 3 waves. It looks like we're close to completing wave A now. You can see the count I'm working with here. I've kind of got us quite squashed in here because there's so much to show. We've got 3 down in A, triangle B wave, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It looks like we're probably close to completing wave 5 now. That the Japanese session is, the overnight session is took one more step lower, so it looks like we've got 5 waves down, complete in wave C. Excuse me. We'll have to see now today if we actually get a bounce significant enough to suggest that a bottom is in for wave A. I would look at that previous 4th wave high, so we've got about 142. If we bounce above 142 again, that will suggest that wave B is underway. And I would look for 3-wave rally in wave B up towards about the end of that triangle again, so about 147 over the preceding few weeks. So 3 waves down, we've filled the trend channel. Looks like we have 5 waves down, completing wave C. So I would suggest that we are close to a low to complete wave A now pretty soon. And then next week I'll be looking higher in wave B. So we'll see how this goes over the next couple of days. Here is the Dow. You can see that the current wave count in wave 2 in blue is now being pushed to, let's say, the ends of its the extremes of its capability or allowable range. I still can't rule it out, but we are, I suppose, at this point we're lurching towards that alternate count here. So we've got the alternate count. I'll go to the daily count here. I'll show you the alternate count shows a wedge pattern in wave 1 and probably an expanded flat wave 2 at this point. We've got a 1-2 pattern expecting a 3rd wave decline. I have been working with a series of 1-2s down. I suppose we could. We'll see how the day goes. If we break above that 134,280 or 134,300 level, that will trigger this alternate count, and we'll just start again looking for wave 3 down. I mean, it hasn't happened yet. Yeah, of course, everybody will say that it's not going to happen. That we're all out of the woods here. But yeah, okay, I'll let you. You can continue with that idea if you wish. Okay. If even if it is the alternate count, even if the alternate count is correct, I say we get a break of that one, that 34,300 level, and we reverse lower pretty quickly anyway. So I'm not going to expect much more out of this in either way, because I think we've come far too quickly to allow much more to happen. You can see that the MACD has already reversed out of the, diverged lower out of the rally. Even though we've had a continued rally throughout this week, we still have a lower high diverging MACD, or sorry, RSI. The MACD histogram has come higher. We're still at a lower high, but momentum is slowing. There's no doubt about that. If this is a C wave in wave 2, it does suggest the top is soon coming our way. Yesterday's rally, off the back of a lowering CPI print, or let's say a cresting CPI print, which to me shouts disinflation, deflation is ahead. Deflation is the market's worst enemy. So, if you're looking for deflation and you think you're going to rally in a deflationary environment, boy, oh boy, do you not understand economics. Because a debt-based economy can't exist in deflation. I'm sorry. And that's what we have. We have a debt-based economy. Debt is beginning to implode. You can see it. You can see it in the credit spreads. You can see it in high yield. You can see it in the collapse in mortgage applications. You can see it in the rolling over in prices. You can see it in CPI. So I would suggest to you that this actually would be a good, if you're looking anywhere, I would look towards the 10-year bond, maybe even longer, maybe the 30-year bond, as a possibility to kind of start parking your money in, because um, it looks like the risk assets are going to suffer immensely in a deflationary environment, and I think money, or people will just run. Or the idea, I don't like the idea of money chasing something. It's just people's you know base instincts that are chasing things. But in terms of a deflationary environment, you just look at a bond portfolio and get out of stocks, because this might be your last time to do it. Okay, so if we're doing this now, if we are rolling over now, if this is the second wave in wave blue, or if it's a second wave in wave green, or if it's a second wave at a higher degree in wave 2 in blue, I still think it's a second wave. Just depends on how you want to view it. And I think we will roll over. Haven't got there yet. Everybody just screams at me and says, God, this guy never sees anything downside. Yeah, well, I haven't been wrong yet. I haven't been wrong here yet, have I? Yes, we've rallied. That doesn't mean, a few days of a rally does not mean you're out of the woods here yet. Okay, I'm talking to a straw man there, so forgive me. I'm going to move on. This is gold. The rally in gold this week has been quite impressive. Is it a wholehearted confirmation of a low being in for wave 4? Not a wholehearted confirmation, but most definitely a step in the right direction. I wouldn't jump in right now on gold. You might be tempted to yourself. If you've been building positions, fair play, no problem. Right now is probably, it looks like we're probably close to the end of this initial rally. So I would suggest that we are going to see a higher low build maybe next week. And this higher low will offer the opportunity to go long. I've been kind of biting my nails looking for that long suffering higher low, which hasn't come. Each time we've broken to a new low, or we've created bottoms, or we've had double bottoms and triple bottoms over the last while, which haven't built that higher low. The big, how would you say, screaming signal will be a 3-wave correction to a higher low. So if we see a higher low build around that 1660, 1670 level over the next week or so, I think that will be our long-term ticket into gold. Okay, let's move on. This is crude oil. The pattern that's operating in crude oil is how would you say, it's a little bit it's tricky right now. I think that might be the best technical term for it at the moment. There is obviously a couple of options that is happening, or that could happen here. We have 3 waves up, so this could be an ending diagonal here. This could be a wave 2 top in blue already complete at this week's top. So I'm not going to rule that out at all. So that 93 level is looking, even though it's almost a bang on double top. It is a very real possibility for the completion of wave 2. We've had 5 waves down, and we seem to, at this point in time, either we're completed 3 waves up, or we're underway in 3 waves up. It depends on how this pattern tracks over the next couple of days. But we do definitely have 5 waves down. Now, this could be the indicative of a 3rd wave decline about to get underway. So that's the main wave count here, is that we are beginning wave 1 of 3 downwards. And if that's the case, then look out below, because crude oil has a long way to go down. The other option here is that we've got a larger wave 2 building. If that's the case, then we will see a 3-wave pattern in wave B complete somewhere down around $80 or so. We'll close out this trend channel somewhere around $80, and then we'll rally again in wave C of 2. So we'll see how that goes over the next week. That's basically your two options here. Are we completed in wave 2, or are we just tracking wave B of 2? We'll see how that goes. That's going to be a running flat wave B2. Also, excuse me, I'm going to have to use something different than 2. This could be a running flat wave B also, and we could have started wave C up from here. Now, that's where this action gets critical over the next couple of days. Do we have 3 waves up in wave 2? We've definitely 5 waves down, possibly wave 1 complete. 3 waves up, a 50% retracement, maybe wave 2 complete. So I would be suggesting that maybe we top out in wave 2 pretty soon, and we start to head lower into wave 3. I think the only confirmation for wave 3 is if we break below that $76 level again. The initial, let's say, hint that wave 3 is underway is if we break $84 again. So I would look for wave 2 high to complete pretty soon, and a rollover into wave 3 beginning next week. Okay, so let's get to the S&P. The pattern in the S&P obviously got a jolt yesterday. I am actually a little bit, how would you say, what's the best way to put this? The action yesterday seems to be pointing to something slightly different in the short term, and I'll show you that in the hourly count in a second. But just note for the moment that we have quite a corrective move off the recent low, so that wave 1 low, that 34.90 low, quite a corrective move higher. Even if you take in yesterday's, significant spike higher, I would suggest to you that those short-term, real short covering rallies tend not to last very long. So you might have a lifetime of about a day or two on that one, and then it'll reverse quite meanly against you. I would point to this rally back here in early September. We had a rally from the 7th into the 13th, so you had about 5 or 6 day rally, 5 day rally, let's say. Here, it wasn't the same, 2 or 3 hourly bars up. It took a similar rally. Took about 5 days, and then it completely retraced it and brought us to new lows in the whole pattern. So I would suggest that these rallies here don't tend to last very long, especially when you have such a overpowering emerging narrative here that we are hitting danger territory in a stalling economy and collapsing debt prices. So and we're heading into deflation. So just be careful on that one. So we've got 3 waves up, I think, and I'll show you that in the hourly count. Here's the S&P. The rally in the S&P, I've changed it this morning. I think we can track a triangle here within this wave 2. So we've got 3 waves up in A. We've got an A, B, C, D, and E, which does kind of explain the oscillation that happened over the last while, over around the 37.80 level. So, it's funny how I just didn't see that earlier until this morning. We've got a pretty nice triangle pattern here. And then this spike rally came yesterday, which would cover wave C. And we pretty much, with that spike rally, we have almost closed out the trend channel for wave 2. So we've got a corrective pattern, wave C almost closing out the trend channel. We're approaching the 62% retracement level. 3 waves up. I don't know. Those seem to be pretty damning dominoes that are lining up there. And like I said, those rallies that happen in a day like that, 5% in a day, don't tend to last much longer than a couple of days. So I just watch out what happens this morning. The early morning or the futures trade this morning is quite flat, so there's no follow through, at least right now, happening. So just watch out. Watch if this isn't used as a selling point. as for certain people. Okay, let's move on. We will go to silver. Now, people can scream at me for having a different view on silver than gold, but I think the two are about to diverge in quite a big way. Not for very long. I don't think. I think silver will lag gold, but I think they're about to diverge in a significant manner quite right now. I still think that we've got a fourth wave, pretty screaming, what you call it, obvious fourth wave correction, three wave correction higher in place here for wave 4, and I think we will see that fourth wave correction reverse pretty quickly once wave 5 down does get underway. I've been looking for wave 5 for a few weeks now. Well, probably even more than that, maybe a month now. I was looking at this as an initial 1-2 decline to begin wave 5. That didn't happen. We had a rally this week, which kind of ruled that out, but now we've moved towards that larger wave 4 pattern, and I think we will turn lower into wave 5 again. Here's the hourly count for wave 4. We have 3 waves up in A, 3 waves down in B, and then I think we've got 3 waves up in wave C. So it's a triple combination wave, an internal in wave C. We've got 3 up in A, 3 down, running flat wave B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with an extension in wave 3. So a 5-wave pattern in wave C, and possibly even maybe. We may even have a top in place for wave 4 or wave C of 4 now. With the initial decline that's happened, we're falling back into the trend channel again. Let's see if we start taking out these previous shoulders, 2095, 2046, and then back into the wave A high again at 1966. So we fall back below that, back into this corrective range again. I think that's wave 1 underway. Okay, so we will go to Bitcoin right now. So in the short term, next week, I'll be looking for wave 1 down. We'll see how that goes. Let's get a Bitcoin. This has been quite a shock to people this week. Not if you've been following these charts. It hasn't been a shock to you. We were showing a second wave completed rally off the previous video. I was pointing out a possible second wave completing. I think we made one final new high around 21,370, and then we returned impulsively off that before there was any crash in that before that exchange ever crashed this week. There was already signs that something horrible was about to happen in Bitcoin. We're not done yet, so if we go to the hourly or the daily count, let's say, we are nowhere near done yet. So I would suggest just hold off on Bitcoin. This decline has not worked its way through the system yet. I'm not going to get any way bullish on Bitcoin unless we start seeing, the low 3,000s, maybe 2,000s, maybe 1,000. We'll see how it goes. But I'm not going to be pointing towards Bitcoin as anything to start chasing until we start seeing those low thousands figures again. Okay, here is the pattern right now in the short term. I think we have begun wave 3 of wave 5 down, and if that's the case, we have a pretty perfect 5-wave decline in wave 1, and we may be working on a wave 2 pattern right now. So either wave 2 is complete at yesterday's high, that 18,100 level. If wave 2 is already complete, then we will see a more rapid decline into wave 3 come about pretty soon. So for the moment, be cautious because that high might have done it. I'm not quite sure, but that high that happened yesterday may be enough. It depends on what happens today. If we complete 3 waves down, we have a higher low above that 15,500 level. Then that's wave B done, and we look for a rally in wave C. Still, probably top out around 19,000, and then fall down into wave 3 of 5, and that could be a pretty damning decline. That will ruin Bitcoin. you know, this third of a fifth wave, third of a fifth. Let's give you an example. That could easily take us down to around 5,000 when this is complete. So I wouldn't get too, as they say, now is not the time to be. Now is not the time to be bullish yet, I think, on Bitcoin. So let's see how this pans out. But it looks like we're going to get a corrective lower high, and then we fall into a third of a third decline next week. We'll see how that goes. Let's go to the NASDAQ. I want to show you something. Okay, NASDAQ. If you read the headlines, you'll see them. The headlines on CNBC and Bloomberg and all that. The most amazing, biggest billionaire rally ever on record yesterday. Right. Okay. Just look at the NASDAQ. This is what happened yesterday. This is what's happened this year. So just hold out there before you go, cashing your checks there, Mr. Zuck, because something bigger is coming your way and you may not even know it. Just take a look at what the pattern that has traced out over the last week or so. Since the low here on the 10th of, let's say the 13th of October, what do you suggest that is? I'll give you a second. What do you think? Yay! You did it. It's a correction. It's a correction higher. We've had 5 waves down in wave 1, and we're working on 3 waves up wave. A bit higher, possible, quite possible. Maybe we get up to 12,000. Maybe we get to 12,500. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Right now, we're in a trend channel. We spiked yesterday. It could be wave 3 of C, and we'll get to the hourly count here, and I'll show you that. That could be. That's the rally that happened yesterday. That big billionaire rally. Why you're so happy that billionaires have another billion or so is beyond me. But 3 up in A, 3 down in B, and then the spike rally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're closing out the trend channel. Don't expect this rally to last much longer. I think once we complete 5 waves up in wave C, I'll be looking lower again to begin wave 3 down. And I think wave 3 down will be the real seal the deal on the NASDAQ, because we're going back below 10,000 in a big way. We're probably going to go towards 7,000 in wave 3 of 3. So watch out, all you fangs out there, all you fans of fangs out there. It's not going to be a good, I think, few months, few years for you. Need I mention that a short 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, the NASDAQ was trading at 6,600. So we're still almost double that today. So, just watch out. That's all I'm saying. Okay. And that, I think, is that. I give you the bad news for the markets, and I give you the good news of salvation. That's my job on planet Earth. I think I have been put on this earth, into this little corner of the world, to be a herald for doom, because much worse is coming than a depression in the economy or a complete and utter market collapse. That's coming anyway. I mean, that's going to be, your side order, and the main event is going to be something much worse than that, and it can only be described as the judgment of God. So we're reaching that 6,000 year mark, and the final 7 years is coming our way. Just read your book of Revelation. It's split into two halves of 1,250 days. That's 7 years. Sorry, 1,260 days. That's 7 years altogether. So watch out. The next 7 years is going to be pretty horrendous on this planet Earth. So I would ask you to have a look. Give Jesus a chance. That's all. He never lets anyone down. He is God. After all, as he said, if you have seen me, you have seen the Father. So you look at Jesus, you already see the Father. They are one. I don't know who I'm talking to here. Maybe whoever is the final person that hasn't clicked off just yet. Yeah, you, the one that's listening. This message is for you. It's a message of salvation. Jesus wants to save you. Just look to Jesus and say that, I'm a sinner. I need someone to cover my sins. And that's what he came here to do. He came here not to judge the first time. He came here to save the first time. He will be your savior. You just have to ask. That's the crux of free will. He's not going to force himself on you. You're not going to, if you don't want it, if you don't want salvation, it's not for you. If you don't think it's for you, he's not going to force it on you. And there is a whole other, realm for you to exist in eternity, if that's what you want. And it's not a nice place. It's called hell for a reason. So, believe in Jesus, and that's it. Give your allegiance to the King, and he'll save you. That's all I have to say. Everyone, if you want to join bullwhips.org, if you think that you like my style, my Elliott wave analysis, come on, check out bullwhips.org and come and join. And I'll see you there tonight for tonight's update. Everybody else, I'll see you next week. Have a good one. Bye bye.